welcome back to the USA English Podcast. Hi, everyone. We are absolutely delighted to have you here with us again. I'm Erica.
And I'm Marco. Right here on this channel, our goal is to help you speak English naturally, clearly, and with confidence through authentic, everyday conversations. Today's subject is something that many learners find challenging, but absolutely essential.
That's right. Today we're discussing how to use phrasal verbs in daily English. Phrasal verbs are everywhere in spoken English. Native speakers use them constantly, and they can make your English sound much more natural and fluent.
But phrasal verbs can also be confusing. One small word like up, down, out, or off can completely change the meaning of a verb, and there are so many of them. It can feel overwhelming.
Exactly. But the good news is that you don't need to memorize hundreds of phrasal verbs at once. You just need to learn the most common ones in context through real conversations and daily situations.
So today, we're going to teach you the most useful phrasal verbs for daily life. We'll show you how to use them naturally, give you plenty of examples, and practice them in real conversations.
We'll cover phrasal verbs for morning routines, work, social life, travel, feelings, and everyday tasks. By the end of this lesson, you'll have a solid understanding of how to use phrasal verbs like a native speaker.
If you enjoy learning with us, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and click the notification bell so you never miss a lesson.
All right, Marco, let's get started. So, how are you feeling today?
I'm feeling pretty good today. I woke up early, got up right away, and started my day with some exercise. It really helped me wake up.
That's great. I see you already used a phrasal verb, woke up. That's one of the most common ones.
Yes, exactly. We use phrasal verbs all the time without even thinking about it. Wake up, get up, start up, they're everywhere.
They really are. What else did you do this morning?
I made breakfast, turned on some music, and went over my schedule for the day. I also checked in with a colleague about a project we're working on together.
Turn on, go over, check in, work on. That's 4 phrasal verbs in just one sentence.
I didn't even notice. That's how natural they are for native speakers. And that's exactly what we want our listeners to experience, using phrasal verbs without thinking about them.
So let's dive into our main conversation and help our listeners master phrasal verbs in daily English.
Okay, Erica, let's start with the most basic question. What exactly is a phrasal verb?
A phrasal verb is a combination of a verb and 1 or 2 particles, usually prepositions or adverbs like up, down, on, off, in, out, and over. Together, they create a meaning that's often different from the original verb.
For example, look means to use your eyes, but look up means to search for information. Look after means to take care of someone. The particle changes the meaning completely.
Exactly, and that's why phrasal verbs can be tricky, but once you understand them in context, they become much easier to remember.
Now, let's talk about morning and daily routine phrasal verbs.
This is a great place to start because everyone has a morning routine. The first one is wake up, to stop sleeping.
For example, I wake up at 7 o'clock every morning, or I woke up late today.
Next is get up, to leave your bed. There's a difference between waking up and getting up.
Yes, you can wake up but stay in bed for a while before you get up. I often do that on weekends.
Another one is turn on, to start a machine or light. I turn on the coffee maker first thing in the morning.
And turn off, to stop a machine or light. I turn off the TV before I leave the house.
Then there's put on, to place clothing on your body. I put on my jacket before going outside.
Take off is the opposite, to remove clothing. I take off my shoes when I get home.
Another useful one is head out, to leave and go somewhere. I head out for work at 8:30.
And come back, to return to a place. I come back home around 6.
Get along with, to have a good relationship with someone. I get along with my colleagues very well.
Look after, to take care of someone or something. I look after my neighbor's cat when she's away.
Meet up. To meet someone, usually for a planned reason. Let's meet up for coffee sometime.
Drop by. To visit casually without a plan. Feel free to drop by anytime.
Run into. To meet someone unexpectedly. I ran into an old friend at the supermarket.
Now let's practice social phrasal verbs.
I love hanging out with my friends. We meet up every weekend and catch up on everything. I get along with them really well. Last week, I ran into my old neighbor, and we had a great chat.
That's wonderful. It sounds very natural and friendly.
Now let's move to travel and transportation phrasal verbs.
Set off. To start a journey. We set off early in the morning.
Get on. To board a bus, train, or plane. I get on the bus at 8.
Get off. To leave a bus, train, or plane. I get off at the next stop.
Check in. To register at a hotel or airport. We need to check in 2 hours before the flight.
Take off. For a plane to leave the ground. The plane takes off at 10.
Touch down. For a plane to land. We touch down at 6 in the evening. Let's practice travel phrasal verbs.
We set off for the airport early. We checked in, got on the plane, and the plane took off on time. We touched down in New York and got off. After our trip, we got back home late.
That's a complete travel story using phrasal verbs.
Now let's talk about feelings and emotions phrasal verbs.
Cheer up. To make someone feel happier. I tried to cheer up my friend who was feeling sad.
Calm down. To become less angry or stressed. Take a deep breath and calm down.
Break down. To start crying suddenly. She broke down when she heard the news.
Lighten up. To become less serious. Come on, lighten up. It's just a joke.
Open up. To share your feelings with someone. It took him a while to open up about his problems.
Now let's practice feelings phrasal verbs.
My friend was really stressed, so I told her to calm down. I tried to cheer her up by telling a funny story. Eventually, she opened up about what was bothering her. I'm glad she felt comfortable enough to share.
That's a beautiful example. Emotions are such an important part of life, and phrasal verbs help us express them naturally.
Now let's talk about everyday tasks and household phrasal verbs.
Clean up. To tidy a place. I need to clean up the kitchen.
Tidy up. To organize and put things in order. Let's tidy up the living room before guests arrive.
Put away. To put something in its proper place. Put away your clothes when you're done.
Throw away. To discard something. Throw away that old newspaper.
Pick up. To lift something from the floor. Pick up your toys, please.
Turn down. To reduce the volume or intensity. Can you turn down the music?
Turn up. To increase the volume or intensity. Turn up the volume. I can't hear.
Plug in. To connect an electronic device. I need to plug in my laptop.
Switch on. To turn on a device. Switch on the TV.
Switch off. To turn off a device. Switch off the lights when you leave.
Let's practice household phrasal verbs.
I cleaned up the kitchen, tidied up the living room, and put away the dishes. I threw away some old boxes, picked up my books from the floor, and switched off the lights before leaving.
That's a perfect description of a productive day at home.
Now let's talk about communication phrasal verbs.
Speak up. To speak louder. Can you speak up? I can't hear you.
Talk over. To discuss something thoroughly. Let's talk over the details after the meeting.
Bring up. To introduce a topic in conversation. She brought up an interesting point.
Point out. To show or mention something. I pointed out a mistake in the report.
Figure out. To understand or solve something. I need to figure out how to fix this.
Work out. To solve a problem or exercise. We worked out a solution together. Or I work out at the gym 3 times a week.
Now let's practice communication phrasal verbs.
During the meeting, I brought up a concern about the budget. My colleague pointed out a solution I hadn't considered. We talked over the details and figured out a plan together.
That sounds very professional and collaborative.
Now, let's talk about problem-solving phrasal verbs.
Deal with. To handle a problem. I need to deal with this issue.
Sort out.
to organize or resolve something. Let's sort out this confusion.
Get through, to finish something difficult or to contact someone. I finally got through all my emails. Or I tried to call her but couldn't get through.
Stick to continue with something without changing. Stick to the plan.
Carry on, to continue. Carry on with your work.
Give up, to stop trying. Don't give up on your goals.
Now let's practice problem-solving phrasal verbs.
We had a problem with the project, but we dealt with it quickly. We sorted out the issues and got through all the tasks. We stuck to the plan and carried on until everything was finished.
That's a great example of perseverance.
Now, let's talk about phrasal verbs with up. There are so many.
Yes, up is one of the most common particles. Wake up, get up, look up, make up, give up, turn up, show up.
Make up can mean to invent a story or to become friends again after an argument. He made up an excuse, or they made up after the fight.
Show up means to arrive. He didn't show up for the meeting.
Turn up means to appear or to increase volume. She turned up late, or turn up the music.
And look up means to search for information. I looked up the word in the dictionary.
Now, let's talk about phrasal verbs with out.
Find out, to discover information. I need to find out the truth.
Figure out, to solve or understand. Can you figure out this puzzle?
Work out, to exercise or solve. I work out every day.
Check out, to examine something or leave a hotel. Check out this video, or we checked out of the hotel.
Hang out, to spend time with people. I hung out with my friends.
Now, let's talk about phrasal verbs with on.
Turn on, to start a machine. Turn on the light.
Put on, to place clothing or start music. Put on your coat, or put on some music.
Carry on, to continue. Carry on with your work.
Go on, to continue or happen. The show must go on, or what's going on?
Get on, to board a vehicle or to have a good relationship. Get on the bus, or I get on well with my colleagues.
Now let's talk about phrasal verbs with off.
Turn off, to stop a machine. Turn off the TV.
Take off, to remove clothing or for a plane to leave. Take off your shoes, or the plane took off.
Show off, to boast or display something proudly. He's always showing off his new car.
Get off, to leave a vehicle. Get off the train.
Put off, to postpone or to discourage. Don't put off your homework, or I was put off by the noise.
Now let's do a comprehensive practice conversation using many phrasal verbs.
Great idea. Let's have a conversation about our day.
So, Marco, how did your day go?
It was good. I woke up early, got up, and headed out for work. I turned on my computer and went over my emails. I worked on a project all morning.
Did you deal with any problems?
Yes, I had to sort out a scheduling issue. I called a colleague to figure it out, and we came up with a solution together.
That sounds productive. What did you do after work?
I met up with a friend. We hung out at a cafe and caught up on everything. I got back home around 9. Then I turned on the TV and relaxed.
That sounds like a balanced day. I woke up a bit late, but I got up quickly. I put on some comfortable clothes and made breakfast. I checked in with my team online and worked on a presentation.
Did you finish everything?
Almost. I need to go over it one more time tomorrow. I also have to fill out some forms and hand them in by Friday.
You'll get through it. Don't give up.
Thank you. I won't. I'm looking forward to the weekend. I plan to hang out with friends and just relax.
That sounds wonderful. I'm looking forward to it too.
That was a great conversation, and it was full of phrasal verbs used naturally.
It really was. And that's how phrasal verbs should be used, naturally, in context, without overthinking.
Now let's move to our vocabulary breakdown.
First word, phrasal verb. This is a verb combined with a particle that changes its meaning.
For example, look alone means to see. Look up means to search. Look after means to take care. The particle changes the meaning.
We used this term throughout the lesson. For example, phrasal verbs are common in everyday English.
Another example is, I'm learning new phrasal verbs every day. And phrasal verbs can be tricky, but they're very useful.
What's your favorite phrasal verb?
I like figure out because it's so useful. You can figure out a problem, a plan, or a person.
Next word, particle. This is the small word that comes after the verb in a phrasal verb.
For example, up in wake up, off in turn off, on in put on. These are particles.
Another example is, the particle changes the meaning of the verb. And you need to learn phrasal verbs with their particles.
Good. Particles are small but powerful.
Next word, context. This means the situation or environment in which a word is used.
We said, learn phrasal verbs in context. For example, context helps you understand the meaning of a phrasal verb.
Another example is, without context, phrasal verbs can be confusing. And I remember phrasal verbs better when I hear them in conversations.
Context is key. When you hear a phrasal verb in a real situation, you remember it much better.
Next word, literal. This means the basic dictionary meaning of a word.
For example, pick up literally means to lift something, but pick up as a phrasal verb can also mean to learn casually or to collect someone.
Another example is, the literal meaning is not always the phrasal meaning. And don't translate phrasal verbs literally.
That's a common mistake. Literal translation doesn't work with phrasal verbs.
Next word, fluency. This means speaking smoothly and naturally, without hesitation.
We said phrasal verbs help you sound more fluent. For example, using phrasal verbs is a sign of fluency.
Another example is, I want to speak with more fluency. And fluency comes from practice.
Yes, using phrasal verbs naturally is a great way to sound more fluent.
Next word, automatic. This means done without thinking.
We said, I want phrasal verbs to become automatic. For example, with enough practice, phrasal verbs become automatic.
Another example is, my responses are automatic now. And automatic speech is the goal of language learning.
Exactly. When you don't have to think about the phrasal verb, you've mastered it.
Next word, practice. This means doing something regularly to improve.
We said practice using phrasal verbs every day. For example, daily practice helps you remember phrasal verbs.
Another example is, practice makes progress. And I need more practice with phrasal verbs.
Yes, consistent practice is the only way to master phrasal verbs.
Next word, particle. Wait, we already covered that one.
We did. Let's skip to the next one.
Next word, preposition. This is a word that shows relationship in time, place, or direction.
Many phrasal verb particles are prepositions, like on, off, in, out, up, and down.
For example, prepositions are used in phrasal verbs. And the preposition changes the meaning of the verb.
Good. Understanding prepositions helps you understand phrasal verbs.
Next word, idiom. An idiom is a phrase whose meaning is not obvious from the individual words.
Some phrasal verbs are idiomatic. For example, give up means stop trying, not give plus up.
Another example is, phrasal verbs can be idiomatic, and idiomatic expressions are common in English.
So, learning phrasal verbs is like learning idioms. You have to memorize the whole expression.
Next word, conversation. This is an informal spoken exchange between people.
We said phrasal verbs are used in everyday conversation. For example, native speakers use phrasal verbs in conversation all the time.
Another example is, conversation practice helps you learn phrasal verbs. And I learned this phrasal verb from a conversation.
Yes, the best way to learn phrasal verbs is through real conversations.
Let's review all the vocabulary we've covered.
Phrasal verb, a verb with a particle. Particle, the small word that changes meaning. Context, the situation around a word. Literal, the basic meaning. Fluency, smooth, natural speaking. Automatic, done without thinking. Practice, doing something regularly. Preposition, a word showing relationship. Idiom, a phrase with a non-literal meaning. Conversation, informal spoken exchange.
Okay, Erica. That was a lot of information about phrasal verbs.
It really was.
but I think we've given our listeners a clear and practical guide to using phrasal verbs in daily English.
Let's think about what we covered. First, we defined what phrasal verbs are and why they're important.
Then we covered morning and daily routine phrasal verbs like wake up, get up, put on, and head out.
Then we moved to work and study phrasal verbs like work on, go over, fill out, and hand in.
We also covered social life phrasal verbs like hang out, catch up, get along with, and run into.
We covered travel phrasal verbs like set off, get on, check in, and take off.
We covered feelings phrasal verbs like cheer up, calm down, break down, and open up.
We covered household phrasal verbs like clean up, put away, throw away, and switch off.
We covered communication phrasal verbs like speak up, bring up, point out, and figure out.
We covered problem-solving phrasal verbs like deal with, sort out, get through, and carry on.
And we discussed common particles like up, out, on, and off.
Finally, we practiced using phrasal verbs in a natural conversation about our day.
The main message is this: phrasal verbs are essential for natural English. You don't need to learn them all at once. Start with the most common ones and practice them in context.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to make mistakes. Even native speakers sometimes use phrasal verbs incorrectly.
The more you practice, the more natural they'll become.
Now, we want to hear from you. This is our favorite part.
Yes, because your comments help us create better content. Our question of the day is, what is one phrasal verb you use often in your daily life? And how do you use it?
I'll go first. I use catch up a lot. I say, I need to catch up with my friends, or I need to catch up on my emails.
That's a great one. I use figure out a lot. I say, I need to figure out this problem, or I'm trying to figure out how to do this.
See, we have different answers, and that's fine. Everyone has their favorite phrasal verbs.
So viewers, we want to know about you. You can write, I use hang out a lot. I say, I hung out with my friends yesterday. Or, I use look up a lot. I say, I looked up the word in the dictionary. Or, I use give up a lot. I say, don't give up on your dreams.
These simple sentences help you practice using phrasal verbs in writing, and it helps us understand what you need more practice with.
So please share your answer with us. We'd really love to read it.
Thank you so much for spending this time with us today. We hope this lesson helps you use phrasal verbs more confidently in your daily English.
If you enjoyed this video, give it a big thumbs up and click the subscribe button and the little bell. That way you won't forget to join us for our next lesson.
You are all wonderful students, and we're very proud of your progress. Keep practicing. Remember, every phrasal verb you learn brings you one step closer to fluency.
Yes, don't be afraid to use them. They make your English sound more natural and native-like.
Have a wonderful day, evening, and night, wherever you are.
Take care, keep learning, and keep speaking English.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye for now. See you in the next lesson.